Welcome back to our finals here for our mid-season showdown. We have Alberto, Lara facing Giovanni, Costa, two very long-time players with some kind of similar teams. And we're going to get right into this finals match right now. You're going to see Alberto with the... We're going to change that name in a minute, but it's going to be Alberto on the left with Pelipper, Chenpao, Urshifu, Rapid, Golden Go, Amoonguss, and Dragonite. While Giovanni is going to be on the right with Golden Go, Incineroar, Ogerpon, Wellspring, Whimsicott, Chenpao, and Dragonite.
Yeah, both players with the Chenpao Dragonite, which is kind of an awkward matchup up against each other.
Mirror match. Mirror match.
It's not it's not exactly mirrored because one is Bandit and one is Assault Vest.
Yeah,
which is quite a bit different in how they end up playing to a degree.
Which is also interesting here because Dragon Claw is quite a good matchup into Alberto's side. Pelipper, Urshifu, the opposing Dragonite, and Chenpao all take some pretty hefty damage from that. Of course, you got to watch out for the Chenpao with Icicle Crash and Sacred Sword in case you do Terra. So I don't know if necessarily that's the right play here. I actually do like also Redirection plus Make It Rain. That does a lot of damage in general. And if you have your Chenpao, if you're Geo, and you have your Chenpao, and you can go for Sucker Punches onto this Golden Go on Alberto's side, you could potentially just set up and do fine. In fact, both players kind of have very similar positions with that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, looking at it, it's a very, very similar teams. You have Dragonite and Chenpao on both sides. You have Urshifu, you have Redirection with Amoonguss and Ogerpon. You have Golden Go. Urshifu's one difference, which is on the Alberto side, and then Whimsicott is the difference on Giovanni's side. So lots of different options. There's also Tailwind on Pelipper. Wide Guard on Pelipper, I mean, which could make it rain, make it stop, make it rain. So we're going to see Geo lead with Golden Go and Dragonite, while Alberto leads with Chenpao and Urshifu Rapid.
What we need in real life is stop, make it rain. It's going to be the Dragonite and Golden Go on Geo's side. It's the Chenpao and Urshifu on Alberto's. That's kind of a weird start out where one side is the Chenpao and one side is the Dragonite.
Yeah. What's interesting to notice is both of these Golden Goes have that Steel Terra. So no resisting that are Surging Strikes here. We are going to see Terra right off the bat. And this is Geo's Terra.
Switches.
I assume this is two.
Probably getting a U-turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to see the Terra from the Dragonite.
To be honest though, I feel
that nice, easy extreme speed.
I feel like you just double target. So Surging Strike plus Icicle Crash. Icicle, not Ice Spinner. Icicle Crash.
Now it's different on each of them too. 2 HP. And the close combat comes through onto the Dragonite, and that picks up the KO.
That is with
2
Chenpao.
HP. That is with Chenpao. 2 HP. It took it with 2 HP remaining.
I feel like most Urshifus are now being calced specifically for that. Because if you're running balance, a lot of times you do have Chenpao and Urshifu on the same team, so you want to really just protect against that. Icicle Crash doesn't do too much, but could have a flinch chance.
And it does. Ooh, that's such a brutal flinch. It could have done so many different things.
That's not great for Geo.
That's really bad for Geo. You do have the Sucker Punch onto the Urshifu now.
Honestly, I feel like the best bet here is to just...
But now Urshifu kind of just switches out.
Yeah, there's no way Urshifu stays in.
This is bad
Which
for
now,
Geo.
Again, mind games. Do you stay in expecting that not... the Sucker Punch not to happen, or do you go for the Sucker Punch?
Frankly, I think it's better to switch out of Urshifu right now regardless, because you don't want to be using close combat.
No. Although, it would get the Chenpao Sash.
Yeah, but you could just come in later and use Surging Strikes and then just take out the Chenpao.
Of course, it could Sucker Punch.
And that's what happens. Dragonite's in now.
I think that's... Yeah,
I know it's going to be the Sucker Punch. Yeah.
Sacred Sword.
And yeah, that's the thing, is that Sacred Sword comes through here, and now you get a free E-Speed into the Chenpao.
I actually wouldn't log on to E-Speed here. Well...
I would.
I think Stomping Tantrum beats Golden Go.
You're not locked.
Oh yeah, you're Assault Vest. So I think, yeah, you E-Speed.
I think you E-Speed into the Chenpao. And even then, I think you can,
there's really,
sucker the Golden Go.
Oh yeah, this is great spot for Alberto because you could just...
The Golden Go did get a nasty plot up. I don't want to, overlook the fact that the Golden Go did get a nasty plot up.
There is no doubt that.
But, I feel like you can kind of just chase it around with these two Pokemon here.
I think you just Sucker Punch. Like, I mean, you can now Stomping Tantrum, but like, Sucker Punch is in good shape.
Yeah, you could just track it with Sucker Punch. Like, what's the worst that'll happen?
Yeah. That.
That right there. That right there.
Ogerpon's actually quite solid here, but I still think this isn't that. Like, again, it could be protect.
Aerial Ace Ogerpon.
Yeah, that's what I think. It should pick up a KO.
It's probably like a 2-hit. It's probably like a 2-hit or something.
I think the main important part here is if you aerialize the Ogerpon, Sucker Punch, Golden Go, it's forced to follow me. And then at the next turn, you could just click Extreme Speed onto the Ogerpon and Sucker Punch the Golden Go. And since it's Dragonite's Assault Vest, you're not going to be in a range where Spiky Shield will KO. And so I think that's the safe play, in my opinion, if you're Alberto. But that Dragonite
Paranormal.
Go to my
I guess it makes you immune to, it gives you more damage on your E-Speed, which outspeeds the Ogerpon, and also makes you immune to Shadow Ball. Yeah. Which is kind of nice, I guess.
But the E-Speed just going to connect with the Ogerpon. Does not quite pick up the KO.
A lot of damage.
Uh-oh. Bye-bye, Golden Go.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see Golden Go had to do something. I think that was probably the ideal situation, where it's like, I want to try to get as much damage out of my Pokemon as possible, and simultaneously want to, I don't know. I was trying to think of a justification. I have nothing.
I don't think there's any situation there that Geo could have picked it up. There's so many different ways that Ogerpon and Golden Go combo was just done.
Yeah. I had like so many things in my head like swirling around, and I was like, I looked at the Ogerpon not KOing the Chenpao. I was like, I don't know, I'm done.
I don't think there was anything that could have happened. I think at this point, if you're Alberto, you're just like, I'm gonna hope the same exact thing happens.
That's the thing. It's like you have to expect something else.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You can do a lot of stuff the same, because even. You took a really, really gigantic lead early on, and I don't know, you can make reads, like you can make very aggressive reads in game number 2, basically, because you have that 1-game lead and because Geo is kind of working from behind.
Yeah, I think
you can make the same lead at least.
Yeah. The play I'm thinking right now, if you're Geo, is to just be like, okay, well, they led very fast. Why don't I go for a way to stop that? I feel like Incineroar and Ogerpon are going to be very useful into this match. I wouldn't necessarily say that Golden Go is in a great position for this match, because you have Sucker Punch from Chenpao, you have Surging Strikes from Urshifu, you had Stomping Tantrum from Dragonite, and then you have the opposing Golden Go. It's really, not to mention, you cannot hit Pelipper that hard. It's got Wide Guard and Weather Ball, which is going to do, I just think if you're a Geo, you drop the Golden Go and play balance with your Incineroar and Ogerpon and position those to weaken the opposing Pokemon while sweeping with your Chenpao Dragonite combo. I know Geo kind of had to resort to Golden Go because Dragonite went down, but I think right now Incineroar is a really, like, Incineroar Dragonite's pretty
Golden Go, yeah?
Oh, you're right. Didn't even bring in. Yeah, I don't think you bring Golden Go in. It's just not great until Alberto's team.
And there's Incineroar Dragonite lead for Geo this time. It's up against the Chenpao Dragonite, 2 best friends.
That's a good lead. I think it's a really good lead. Because I think you can go for now Extreme Speeds onto the opposing Dragonite, and I feel like the Terra Ghost is like taunting Alberto here because of Extreme Speed. So if there's a way that you can like fake out or knock off on the Chenpao, that's great, because I think that there is a really good, you're gonna have to Terra your Dragonite if you're Geo, and I think that E-Speed onto the opposing Dragonite is gonna do a lot of damage, but it's a big risk because you've got the Terra Ghost there from Chenpao, we've got Protect from Chenpao to stop fake out, you have knockoff as a potential as well, and then it also comes down to Dragonite outspeeding. So there's so many options that this first turn's really going to be detrimental, but I don't think there's a clear play for either team. I do think Alberto has the upper hand in this one, though.
Let's see the switch out from the Chenpao, so that immediately boosts everybody's defense back up. Golden Go comes in instead. Might be expecting a fake out there. Geo's going to Terra turn 1. Probably that Dragonite again.
Yeah.
It is. Dragonite.
If Alberto's Dragonite Terras, that's a big clue. I mean, that's a clue then that Geo's is faster.
This could have been an attempt to read, yeah, there's the E-Speed into the other Dragonite.
That does a lot still.
Does a lot of damage. That's not KO.
Stopping Tantrum connecting with Incineroar. That's about 50.
Pretty solid damage. And the U-turn does 11 damage onto the Golden Go. I wanted to say this out loud. I don't have a clear indicator on which Dragonite is faster. I think it's Alberto's. I think it's Alberto's, but I'm not sure.
It looks like it could be.
But I'm not sure, and I don't want to guarantee it.
This is an interesting one. I think...
Well, and now the problem is that you kind of have to... If you're Alberto, you kind of have to E-speed with the Dragonite, because otherwise it drops to E-speed regardless.
I think you kind of just click Shadow Ball and Ogerpon. If you brought in Urshifu, then I think you're okay. Or you know what? Make it rain. I think Make it Rain's better. Because that way you're free to go for a Sacred Sword on the opposing Dragonite, and you could Terra Ghost, and then Golden Go isn't a good spot to go for a Shadow Ball. I don't think Ogerpon can one hit. I think you just go for Make It Rain plus the E-Speed onto the... Okay, E-Speed on the Dragonite's fair, because you want to get rid of it. But Ogerpon's going to be very dangerous as bulky as it is. It's a very underrated attacker in this format.
Yeah.
So we're going to see that ID card will come out with a critical hit chance.
I think you're just going to say with a critical hit. That's a lot of damage. Even without a crit.
I think it would have won without a crit. And Dragonite survives.
Dragonite takes the hit.
That's not great for Alberto.
Narrowly staying in there.
I think Urshifu's okay. I think Urshifu's
good.
Pretty solid.
Then he can, like, U-turn out on Ogerpon,
yeah.
and I don't know. And then I don't know. I'm kind of lost after that point. But
I think if you U-turn out on the Ogerpon, the good news is that now you do get rid of the Dragonite and you survive with Urshifu.
You should get rid of both of them, and then Chen Pao. That's the other one. I don't know about that.
I'm not sure on that one either. I think right now you protect.
Not terrible. I think you don't drop the Dragonite.
I think double protect here is
the moral of the story.
I think double protect here because you want to read the Dragonite switch. I think that's more important. Good news is Chen Pao probably in range to get rid of Ogerpon here, so that might be the play. But I do think a Spiky Shield swap out is definitely coming, and Incineroar at half health to chip the Chen Pao to possibly not get rid of the Ogerpon is definitely a good spot. I can actually see the Dragonite stay in as well, and a swap out in Ogerpon, but I would be shocked if one of these two doesn't switch out to Incineroar.
Yeah, I'd be pretty surprised as well. And it's the Dragonite. Dragonite switches out.
I like that play.
Into the Incineroar, in fact. Your friend and mine.
This is gonna be very interesting. This is why Terra Ghost is very fun.
Terra Ghost onto the Chen Pao. Does block fake outs and such. Would have blocked extreme speed. It's a decent call on that, but there's the Ogerpon Spiky Shield. What is the decision here for Chen Pao? Does Sacred Sword into the Incineroar. That gets it out of the way.
That is really, really nice. You now force Geo's last one to come out.
Yeah. Dragonite again.
I believe it's not the Dragon. I think the other one is the play.
Chen Pao?
Yeah, you have to, because otherwise Dragonite can't hit you too reliably.
Yeah.
Golden Go goes Make It Rain will KO first, and if not, then
Chen Pao gotta get one of these guys out of here.
Are
we in like a weird Chen Pao 50-50 Sucker Punch situation?
I don't think the Sucker Punch. Oh yeah, it is.
Well,
I think the
Alberto's Chen Pao, both Chen Paos have Sash.
Oof. I think Golden Go's more likely to go for something. I feel like if you could just get rid of the Ogerpon, then that's your biggest threat right now. Dragonite's obviously not a huge threat. Urshifu switching in is really solid, and I think we're also going to see an Protector Nasty Blot on Golden Go. If the Wood Hammer was called here, that was a great call, but it's Ice Spinner, and we'll see what Ogerpon does.
A little bit of damage.
Okay.
Ivy Cudgel, Ivy Cudgel into the Golden Go. That's good for Alberto there.
Yeah, really good for Alberto.
Nice little moves.
You can just U-turn safely. Yeah, there's nothing. It either knocks out Dragonite or knocks out Ogerpon.
Yeah, I think so.
and can't sucker punch either.
Yeah. I think it's just whether Chen Pao reads anything going on here. Because now the other Chen Pao comes back in. But at this point, regardless, at the end of this turn, it'll be 2 ghost types on the field, and Dragonite will have to look at them. Dragonite will have to look at them and cry. Urshifu on out of there.
Oh god, there's so many different options in this. I think if you...
Question A, what does Chen Pao do right now? So if Chen Pao can take down the Golden Go, Ice Spinner into the other Chen Pao, that's
I like that better.
Pretty good damage.
I like that better.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken...
Dragonite, the living legend. Yeah, I guess the problem is that the...
I think that's your play. Okay, I think what you have to do for if you're Alberto, if you're Alberto, you go for a double target. If you're Geo, what you do is you sucker punch the opposing Chen Pao, and then go for an Ice Spinner onto Golden Go. Oh, I think that may have been a mistake, because there was a situation here where if you sucker punched the Chen Pao, Golden Go, I believe it's Life Orb. I think it was in Life Orb range, and at that point you could have just gone. It would have
Sword except the Dragonite.
It would have been close, but I think that the last 2 on Geo side would have been able to pick up the KO on this Urshifu, which is at this health with, because I think Sacred Sword would have done it, but now because I think there was I think that it's the forfeit.
There's the forfeit.
You just hear me like,
That's how Alberto wins it.
Alberto Lara wins the mid-season showdown.
Yeah.
I think at the end there, the play was to sucker punch the opposing Chen Pao and then have Dragonite hit on the Golden Go, because I believe it was in range for a Life Orb KO. It may have been close though, so don't take my word on that. But if that was the play, then at that point you could have won the matchup with Sacred Sword. And I think because there was a Terra Ghost, the Chen Pao on Geo side would have been able to survive a single Surging Strikes, and at that point you could Sucker Punch afterwards and win the match. So I think it was a really close one. It would have come down to that Life Orb damage. It really would have. But Alberto, an amazing play there. I think we're seeing the
great run in the tournament overall.
Yeah, and again, unusual teams. Pelipper with Rain, with no Archaludon. That's crazy. And I think it's just these unusual teams are doing so well. And Priority Spam is back.
Yeah. Both of the finalists had Priority Spam. It feels like we're going to have a very wild meta in the last month of Regulation F. Yeah. Because it feels like no one's really solidified down on what's like best.
Yeah.
Feels like every regional, it's like, oh, this is the new meta now, and it's like, no, it just a bunch of people really liked this.
Yeah, it is. There's no safe plays. I think that's one thing that we've seen consistently, that nothing is consistent, ironically. And so huge congratulations to Alberto for the win today. And we will see you guys here in about a month. April 20th is the next tournament. It's a Premier Challenge. Come on down if you can. Huge thanks to Troy, Miguel, and Taryn for hosting this whole thing. We'll see you then.